What if I told you that a book written 500 years ago contains the secret to unshakable confidence that modern psychology is only now beginning to understand? While everyone else is reading self-help books and attending confidence seminars, the most powerful people in history have been using these principles to dominate every room they enter. Today, I'm going to reveal Niccolò Machiavelli's forbidden strategies that will make you dangerously confident. But I have to warn you, once you think like this, there's no going back. Are you ready to discover what they don't want you to know? Meet Niccolò Machiavelli. Renaissance Italy, 1469. While most people were worried about pleasing everyone around them, Machiavelli was studying power, human nature, and what actually makes people respect you. His masterpiece, The Prince, became the unofficial playbook for kings, presidents, and CEOs for over 5 centuries. Why? Because it works. But here's what most people get wrong about Machiavelli. This isn't about being manipulative or cruel. This is about understanding reality, thinking strategically, and never again doubting your own power. Today, you're going to learn 5 Machiavellian principles that will rewire how you see yourself and how others see you. Let's start with the most powerful one. Machiavelli wrote, "A prince must be both lion and fox. The lion cannot defend himself against traps, and the fox cannot defend himself against wolves." Here's what this means for your confidence. Most people think confidence is just about being loud, aggressive, and dominant all the time. They're wrong. That's amateur hour. True confidence is knowing when to be the lion and when to be the fox. The lion is direct, powerful, uncompromising. You unleash the lion when you need to establish dominance, set boundaries, or make your presence felt. Job interview. Lion energy, make bold eye contact, speak with certainty, own your achievements. Someone disrespects you? Lion energy, address it immediately and directly. Negotiating your salary. Lion energy, state your worth without apologizing. But the fox is strategic, patient, always 3 steps ahead. You become the fox when you need to navigate complex social situations, gather information, or position yourself for long-term success. Office politics. Fox energy, observe, listen, understand the real power dynamics before making your move. New social environment. Fox energy, study the culture, identify the key players, then adapt your approach. Building relationships. Fox energy, ask questions, show genuine interest, let others reveal their motivations. The most confident people you know aren't just lions or just foxes, they're shapeshifters. They read the situation and choose their energy accordingly. This isn't being fake, this is being strategic. And strategy is the foundation of unshakable confidence. But knowing when to be the lion and fox is just the beginning. Machiavelli had a brilliant metaphor about fortune. He said, "Fortune is like a raging river. When it floods, it sweeps away everything in its path. But the wise man builds dikes and barriers before the storm comes." Most people live their lives waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for permission, waiting for luck to strike. And then they wonder why confident people seem to have all the luck. Here's the truth they don't want to accept. Confident people don't wait for fortune. They create it. I see this everywhere. People waiting for the right time to start that business. Waiting for someone to notice their potential. Waiting for opportunities to fall into their lap. Machiavelli would call this surrendering to fortune. And when you surrender to fortune, fortune controls you. But when you think like Machiavelli, you flip the script. You don't react to circumstances, you create them. While everyone else waits for job postings, you're building relationships with decision makers. While they're hoping to be discovered, you're making yourself indispensable. Start learning the skills for your next promotion before the position opens. Build your network before you need favors. Develop your reputation before you need references. Confident people aren't just optimistic, they're prepared. They know that even the best strategies can fail, so they build redundancy into everything. The person who gets promoted isn't necessarily the most talented, It's the one who built relationships across the company before anyone knew there was an opening. The person who successfully changes careers isn't lucky. They spent months developing skills and connections in their target industry before making the leap. The entrepreneur who survives market downturns isn't just resilient, they built multiple income streams before they needed them. This is what true confidence looks like. You're not anxious about the future because you're actively shaping it. You're not desperate in negotiations because you have alternatives. You're not afraid of taking risks because you've prepared for multiple outcomes. When you control your fortune instead of hoping for it, everything changes. But there's another level to this. Here's one of Machiavelli's most ruthless insights. Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are. This might sound manipulative, but it's actually liberating. Because here's what most people don't realize. People are forming opinions about you every single day based on incomplete information. The question is, are you going to let that happen by accident, or are you going to be intentional about it? I see brilliant people hiding their talents. Capable individuals downplaying their achievements. Talented professionals letting louder, less competent people get the credit. They think being humble and waiting for others to notice is noble. Machiavelli would call this strategic suicide. This isn't bragging. This is strategic visibility. You don't wait for someone to ask about your achievements, you create opportunities to demonstrate them. In meetings, you don't just agree, you add valuable insights. On social media, you don't just consume, you share your expertise. In conversations, you don't just listen, you contribute meaningful perspectives. The difference between arrogance and confidence? Arrogance tells without substance. Confidence shows through action. Here's what amateur confident people get wrong. They think they need to tell everyone everything about themselves immediately. Machiavelli understood that mystery creates intrigue. When you reveal everything at once, there's nothing left to discover. In job interviews, you answer questions thoroughly but don't volunteer your weaknesses. In dating, you share your interests but keep some stories for later. In networking, you show your expertise but don't recite your entire resume. People value what they have to work for. Make them curious about you. Your reputation isn't what you think about yourself. It's what others think about you when you're not in the room. Confident people understand this is too important to leave to chance. Every email you send, every social media post, every interaction is either building or destroying your reputation. There's no neutral. Instead of posting random thoughts, you share insights that position you as thoughtful and knowledgeable in your field. Instead of being available 24/7, you respond thoughtfully and at strategic times that show you're busy but respectful. Instead of oversharing immediately, you reveal layers of yourself as trust develops. When you master perception, something incredible happens. You stop worrying about what people think because you know you're actively shaping it. You're not anxious about first impressions because you've prepared for them. You're not insecure about your image because you're intentionally crafting it. But mastering perception is just the beginning. The next principle might be the most powerful of all. Now we get to Machiavelli's most controversial principle. A wise ruler cannot and should not keep his word when it would be against his interest. Before you think this makes Machiavelli evil, let me show you what this really means for your confidence. Most people are emotional slaves. They make decisions based on how they feel in the moment. They take everything personally. They're devastated when things don't go according to plan. But Machiavelli understood something profound. The moment you become emotionally dependent on specific outcomes, you lose your power. I see this everywhere. People whose confidence rises and falls based on other people's reactions. Their mood depends on getting likes, responses, approval. They make decisions to avoid disappointing others, even when it's against their own interests. They change their plans based on criticism from people whose opinions shouldn't matter. They apologize for their ambitions. They downplay their success to make others comfortable. They sacrifice their goals to maintain relationships that might not even be worth saving. Strategic detachment doesn't mean becoming cold or heartless. It means separating your decision-making process from your emotional reactions. When someone criticizes you, your first instinct might be to defend yourself or get upset. But strategic detachment asks, is this criticism valid? Does this person's opinion actually matter? What's the most beneficial response? When an opportunity doesn't work out, instead of wallowing in disappointment, you ask, what did I learn? What's my next move? How can this redirect me towards something better? Here's a truth that will change your life. Most of what people do has nothing to do with you. Their rejection, their criticism, their bad mood, it's usually about their own insecurities, fears, and problems. When you truly understand this, you become immune to other people's emotional chaos. Emotionally attached people cling to specific plans even when they're not working. Strategically detached people adapt their methods while keeping their objectives clear. If plan A isn't working, they don't see it as failure, they see it as data. They pivot, adjust, and keep moving toward their goal. Your value as a person isn't determined by whether you get the job, the date, or the approval. You're gathering information and experience, regardless of the immediate result. Before reacting to any situation, pause and ask, what response serves my bigger picture? What would the most successful version of myself do here? You don't owe anyone a detailed explanation for your choices. That doesn't work for me is a complete sentence. I've decided to go in a different direction needs no further justification. When you master strategic detachment, something incredible happens. You become unshakable. Rejection doesn't devastate you because you know it's just information. Criticism doesn't derail you because you evaluate it objectively. Setbacks don't break you because you see them as course corrections. You're not walking on eggshells trying to please everyone. You're not constantly seeking validation. You're not afraid to make bold moves because you're not emotionally attached to any single outcome. But this next principle, this is where Machiavelli gets truly dangerous. Here's Machiavelli's most misunderstood and most powerful principle. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Stop. Before you think this is about becoming a tyrant or making people afraid of you, let me show you what this really means. This isn't about making people fear you, this is about not fearing them. Every day, I see people destroying their own potential because they're terrified of other people's reactions. They don't speak up in meetings because they're afraid of being judged. They don't pursue their dreams because they're afraid of what others will think. They don't set boundaries because they're afraid of conflict. They say yes when they mean no. They smile when they're uncomfortable. They apologize for taking up space. They dim their light so others feel better about their darkness. And then they wonder why they feel powerless, why they're not respected, why their confidence is non-existent. When Machiavelli said it's better to be feared than loved, he meant something profound. Respect matters more than approval. People who chase universal love end up being taken for granted. But people who command respect, they're never ignored. The moment you accept that not everyone will like you, you become free. You stop contorting yourself to fit into boxes that were never meant for you. Some people won't appreciate your ambition. Let them. Some people won't understand your vision. That's their limitation, not yours. Confident people make decisions that serve their long-term success, even when those decisions are temporarily uncomfortable. They end relationships that drain them. They leave jobs that limit them. They say no to opportunities that don't align with their goals. When you set a boundary, some people will test it. They'll push back. They'll try to make you feel guilty. This is where most people cave. But Machiavellian confidence means your boundaries aren't negotiable. You don't explain them endlessly. You don't apologize for them. You simply maintain them. Instead of trying to convince people you're capable, you demonstrate it. Instead of arguing for your worth, you show it through results. You don't waste energy on people who don't see your value. You focus on those who do, and you let your success do the talking. Here's what happens when you stop fearing other people's reactions. You start commanding respect. People might not always agree with your decisions, but they respect your conviction. They might not always like your boundaries, but they respect your consistency. And here's the beautiful paradox. When you stop desperately seeking love and approval, you often end up earning both genuine respect and genuine affection. Because people are naturally drawn to those who are comfortable with themselves, who know their worth, who don't need constant validation. The dangerous truth about fear is this: most of what you're afraid of isn't real. It's imagined rejection, hypothetical judgment, projected insecurity. Machiavellian confidence doesn't mean you never feel fear. It means you act despite the fear. You make the right decision even when it's uncomfortable. You speak your truth even when your voice shakes. When you master this final principle, you become truly dangerous. Dangerous to mediocrity, dangerous to limitation, dangerous to anyone who tries to keep you small. You're not afraid to be disliked by people whose opinions don't matter. You're not afraid to stand alone if standing together means compromising your integrity. You've become the person who commands respect not through fear or intimidation, but through unshakable self-respect. And that is truly dangerous confidence. Now here's where everything comes together. These aren't just 5 separate principles, they're parts of a complete system that creates unbreakable confidence. Let me show you how a true Machiavellian thinker approaches any challenging situation. Imagine you're about to walk into the most important meeting of your career. Everyone else is nervous, overthinking, second-guessing themselves. But you walk in and immediately assess, is this a lion moment or a fox moment? Do I need to be direct and commanding, or strategic and observant? You read the room, identify the key players, understand the dynamics before you even speak. You're not leaving anything to chance. You've built relationships with decision makers beforehand. You've prepared for multiple scenarios. You've created your own advantages. While others hope for the best, you've already built your dikes before the storm. You demonstrate competence through action, not bragging. You reveal just enough to create intrigue. You let your preparation speak for itself. Every word, gesture, and response is intentional. You're not just participating, you're strategically positioning yourself. Whether they say yes or no doesn't determine your worth. You're here to present your best case and gather information. The outcome is data, not validation. You're confident because you know this isn't your only opportunity. You've prepared alternatives. You speak your truth without apologizing. You make your ask without hedging. You stand by your position without constantly seeking approval. You're not afraid of their reaction because you respect yourself regardless of their response. You assess compatibility, lion/fox, position yourself as high value, fortune, control your presentation, perception, don't get needy, detachment, and communicate directly, fear. You read office politics, lion/fox, build strategic relationships, fortune, showcase achievements appropriately, perception, don't take setbacks personally, detachment, and advocate for yourself boldly, fear. You adapt to the group dynamic, lion/fox, come prepared with interesting stories, fortune, reveal yourself strategically, perception, don't seek constant validation, detachment, and contribute authentically, fear. But here's what makes this truly powerful: these principles compound. Each one makes the others stronger. When you're strategically detached, you make better lion/fox decisions. When you control your fortune, you have more confidence to manage perception. When you're not afraid of reactions, you can be more strategically authentic. This creates an upward spiral. Success builds confidence, which creates more success, which builds more confidence. 6 months from now, people will notice something different about you. You'll carry yourself differently. You'll speak with more authority. You'll make decisions more quickly. They might not be able to put their finger on what changed, but you'll know you stopped playing by everyone else's rules and started playing by Machiavelli's. You've become dangerously confident. Dangerous to limitation. Dangerous to mediocrity. Dangerous to anyone who underestimates what you're capable of. But this is just the beginning. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 7 days, I want you to apply one Machiavellian principle each day. Don't try to master everything at once, that's not strategic. Pay attention to every situation you enter. Ask yourself, is this a lion moment or a fox moment? Practice switching your energy consciously. Stop waiting for opportunities. Create one. Make one strategic move toward a goal that you've been waiting for the right time to pursue. Be intentional about how you present yourself. Update your LinkedIn, craft one strategic social media post, or have one conversation where you showcase your expertise naturally. When someone's reaction bothers you, pause. Ask yourself, does this person's opinion actually matter? What's the strategic response here? Do one thing you've been avoiding because you're afraid of others' reactions. Set one boundary. Make one bold move. I want to hear from you. In the comments below, tell me, which of these 5 principles hit you the hardest? Which one are you most excited to implement? Are you the person who needs to unleash more lion energy? The one who's been waiting for fortune instead of creating it? The strategically detached type who needs to stop caring what everyone thinks? Share your story. This community is full of people on the same journey toward unshakable confidence.